So today I am joined by a very special guest, someone who I've interviewed from the beginning stages of my career to now, and I'm seeing her after what, 4, 5 years. Mahira Khan, a warm welcome to you on Filme Shilmy.
Thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good, but even better now that I'm seeing you. So I'm
I'm
sure I'm sure you must be on cloud nine because Quaid-e-Azam is Zindabad is finally releasing in cinemas. So tell me, how is it? How are you feeling to see your film in cinemas after a while? I think.
well, you know what? When I see it in the cinema, I think that's when you have to ask me that question because as of now, I still feel like I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens. We're going through the promotional drill and stuff like that. But I think, and I hope that when I see it in the cinemas, uh, I, I feel as good as I always do, which is that, just that, oh yeah, this was the dream and this will be the dream. And I'm glad that I can somehow live it, and I can be part of great movies. So yeah,
Mhm.
I'm excited. I'm nervous also, obviously. I mean, it's been so long, I hope that people come out. I hope that people enjoy themselves. I hope you've made something which is worth people coming out and enjoying themselves. So yeah.
Right. Now, I've seen the trailer and it looks like an absolute fun film. I mean, of course, but it also revolves around the societal subject of corruption as well,
Right.
as we saw in the trailer. So how important, I think, is it for masala Pakistani cinema to sort of highlight societal subjects as well as offer that sense of escapism and entertainment?
Well, I think escapism is very important. It's very important. That's what films have always been, right?
Mhm.
The ultimate escape. You go there and you watch something and you're lost and you're entertained for now 2 hours. It used to be like 3 hours of just pure entertainment. Now, the thing about entertaining films or even just generally films is that if a lot of times you'll see it always, there is most of the time there is a message, whether it's there up in your face or it's just a subliminal way of it's a storyteller's message, whatever it may be, right? um, and most of the time, I feel at least, most films are good versus evil, whether it's hero versus villain, and the good always wins. So in this film, there is a very strong message. There is a very strong social message, um, but it's said in a very entertaining manner. You know,
Mhm.
it's said. In fact, yesterday someone said something very interesting, that when you make people laugh and you make people happy, what happens is that you instantly disarm them.
Yeah.
And then when you disarm them, they are so much more open to listening to what you have to say.
Uh-huh.
So I think that is the best way to explain, what Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad is. It's a mix of escapism. It's completely escapism, and then putting in a message in there.
Right. And I think it's also very special because I believe you made a special appearance, I think, in Nabeel Qureshi's actor-in-law, I think,
Yes.
when I think it was you and Humayu, actually, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. I
Yeah.
remember watching that back in the day, and it was such a great film. Um,
Yes.
but I think I mean, so given the fact that this is your first full-fledged acting role, you've done a series of heavy and intense movies back to back, even Superstar as well, which was quite
Yes.
it was quite a tearjerker from what I remember. Um,
Yes.
and given the fact that you've also become a producer now, which by the way, congratulations on.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
So
you.
how much are how much of a breather for you is it to sort of play a bit of a character which seems a bit more ditzy in that way, that's a bit more fun, a bit more mustamola in that sense. So how much of a breather was it for you?
So she's not ditzy at all. She's actually
Oh
quite
wow.
intelligent. But yeah, she is a mastamola. You're right about that. She is a bit of a, you know, uh, as in she doesn't
Vivacious.
care. Yeah, she's an animal rights activist. She does care about right and wrong and what is happening around her and in the society. So she cares about these things and she is vocal about these things. But yes, I have to say it is a breather.
Yeah.
It's definitely a breather. It's another thing that my fans don't like it when I take, anything which is not like, you know, um,
Avarna, for example.
a Varna or even a superstar for that matter. But yeah, but it's something that it is a breather, and for sure, as an actor, it is a breather.
Right. And I think because I mentioned like you are a producer now, and because you, I guess, look to back certain projects and you sort of have an eye for talent now as well, besides you being the main talent yourself, are you in a way able to, I guess, present that vision now through your craft as an actor as well?
Actually, I was always sort of a producer on set. I was always very involved. I wanted, because I actually enjoy the process of filmmaking so much. And don't just enjoy what I do, I enjoy everything. I like the music aspect of it and the production aspect of it, vis-a-vis art and styling and everything, every little thing, which makes something or a film or a TV series, oh, like whole. So I enjoy that, and I never knew that this is this is called production. But I always used to get told that, you you should be a producer, and I used to be like, what? No. But you look at everything like that, and I'm like, okay, whatever, maybe, I don't know. But it isn't as easy as it used to be, when as an actor I used to give an advice or be like, don't do this, do that. It's way more, way, way, way more responsible. Has it affected my me as an actor, or made me change certain things? I think the only thing is time.
Hmm.
I value time.
Right.
Yeah, I do value time now, because I never understood how every hour counts for a producer, you know, stuff like that. I do look at the producers that I work with in a different light. I definitely respect them way more.
Right. So have you so what determines, I think, you choosing a particular project to back actually as a producer as well? Is it like, has that sort of choice in projects shifted now as well, because you are in a bit more of a official and responsible position now as well?
Okay, so yes, absolutely. So I'm sorry if you were trying to ask that question and I didn't answer that. Absolutely, it has changed. So what happens is that when you are a producer, you are choosing everything, right?
Mm.
You really can't then say, like I would as an actor, that I wanted to play this role, whether it's a villain, or someone, or part of something where I don't agree with certain things, but I wanted to play a certain character and explore it. I can say that as an actor, but as a producer, I have to be much more mindful of it.
Mm.
And I am way more mindful of it. I, as a producer, I want to tell the stories that I want to tell.
Mm.
So whether it was Barwa Khilari or it was Ek Hai Nigar, those are my choices. And whatever it is that may or may not be good in it, I do have to take full responsibility for it. So yes, it is different. I think I know what I want. I don't know what I want to produce, but I know what I wouldn't want to produce.
Okay.
Even now, when people are churning out things all the time, as a producer, I feel that, I mean, it's been a year since Ek Hai Nigar was made,
Wow.
which is a really long time. Yeah. So I, and my co-producer keeps saying, "Oh my God, we're never going to do anything," and that's why she does her independent production as well. But I just feel like I want to give my time, money, my myself to something that I believe in. Otherwise, I don't want to do it. Otherwise, I don't want to produce.
Right. It's always about conviction, isn't it? I think that's always the pivotal aspect, I think, for any artist is to have that conviction,
Right.
I think, in whatever you do. And I think that definitely is something I vouch for as well, even as a journalist. So I totally get exactly
Yeah.
where you're coming from. But I think it's really fascinating to see, not just in Pakistan, but as you know, in India, we've seen a lot of cop films emerge. Like we've had like films like Suryavanshi, Simba, which have done really, really well at the box office. And I think it's great to see a Pakistani film like Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad, which again is it's a very very fun masala movie, like I mentioned. But how do you think the film will perhaps showcase Pakistani cops in a more empowered light as well? Because I think that's what a lot of these other cops films do. They give them that voice, that powerful voice of them being the social injustice defenders. So how do you feel this film will do that as well?
So I haven't seen any of the films that you mentioned, but I know what you're talking about. And I think the way Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad, I mean, like you said, like I've been hearing Fahad say that it's it is a cop film, so expect all the things that you have in a cop film,
Mhm.
But I think the arc of of the character that he plays, and eventually what how he will get to the end, that a hero will hopefully win that battle. You hope that it goes from someone who didn't know to someone who is now enlightened, right?
Mhm.
So from a zero to a hero, you know that that is the journey. How does he get there, I think, is the difference between all these films. And um, you will see that in Qaid Azam, that eventually, because there is this journey of him getting there, it will empower um, other, I mean, like you said, maybe the police officers, or even just generally, it will empower people who may be doing things which we all do in real life.
True.
And and we sort of discard it, and we think, oh, it's not that big a deal, choti si baat hai, what happened, kya hota hai. But it'll make people want to
Interesting.
think.
Mm.
It'll make people want to think.
Right. And
And of course, when the guy saves the day in the end, then it is the cop saving the day. So it is
true.
it is empowering. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, very well said as well. But I think it's quite a wonderful time. I think for Pakistani content as well. I mean, it's really going global now. I mean, I remember when you went to Cannes, it was such a euphoric moment, and we had so many legends from our respective countries represent South Asia generally so well on the red carpet.
Yes.
I mean, that was my favorite time. I think 2018 had to be my favorite time. But
Really?
now,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. So now it's wonderful as well because obviously Joyland became the first Pakistani movie to premiere at Cannes, and I mean, I was so happy to see Sarvat there, and it just looked like an amazing film. I can't wait to watch it. Miss Marvel recently as well.
Fantastic.
I mean, it like I said, it's definitely going global as well. So how do you feel about this global, sort of recognition that Pakistani cinema is getting, and what do you see as the next big growth now going forward?
I think this is the growth. I mean, we have a Pakistani, superhero, you know, which is really, really, really cool. I think it's really cool for South Asia, actually, because we all can sort of relate. And this is being put out in the world. It is the biggest franchise. It's Marvel. Everybody's watching. It has actors from Pakistan. I mean, it's just so cool. Uh, you've got independent films like Joyland going abroad, being celebrated, going to Cannes, winning awards. It's a really good time. I'll tell you something. Nigar, which is so small compared to any of these, it's really tiny. We made it for TV. It's nothing. Just to get an email, a random email from the Netherlands, it was just strange for an award show and for it to be nominated. It just means that there is something we are doing and people are looking, you know. So I think that's a really good thing. What we have to do now is keep on bringing out the content, you
Right.
know,
Mhm.
consistently make films. And And for that, honestly, we have to. I hope that these films that are releasing um, on on Eid do massive, massive numbers, because if we do good numbers, it'll give people, it'll encourage people to make films. Believe me, Anuj, we were on our way to just. I used to hear people talking about films all the time before COVID. you know there
Mm.
was constantly scripts, constantly story ideas, constantly, because they thought that there's potential that they can, they're going to make a film and they'll recover their money, right?
Mhm.
So we need that back. We need, and for that, again, like I said, we need the numbers to show, for people to come out, go to the cinemas, and hopefully people will again start talking about films. Or otherwise, I mean, at the end of the day, it's films, series, whatever. It could be anything, but people should be consistently putting out good work. I think that is the way forward. That is truly the way forward, and I hope that OTT platforms come to Pakistan, because it's about time.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say because
That actually will be, that'll be amazing.
yeah, because I was going to say, in fact, I was having this conversation, I think, with Shelja Kejriwal, I think, from
Yes,
Zindagi. And I was just saying, it's so ironic that all the great content that, that's coming from Pakistan cannot be seen in Pakistan only.
yes,
It's
imagine.
such an irony. So,
It is.
I mean, that's a good question, actually. So, I mean, what is the market actually like now in terms of cinema? Because obviously, in terms of globally, the markets have all been hit because of the pandemic. Cinemas now, we can see that big releases are finally gearing up now to sort of get the economy going in terms of the theatrical circuits.
Right.
What is it like in Pakistan actually in terms of the market, if you're able to gauge and tell me? And how do you think, and do you think OTT will perhaps be able to support that the market as well, in that sense as well?
Well, look, it's a trickle down effect, right? So just like cinemas in Hollywood, Bollywood, we obviously have taken a hit, and it's a big hit. Also, we don't have a lot of cinemas. Pre-COVID, there were cinemas cropping up everywhere. Everybody wanted to sort of invest in cinemas because people were going out, and now obviously people are very, and they don't want to do that. But so yeah, the footfalls are less. The cinema going audience at the moment, like they came out in packs and hordes for I'm saying Thor, Top Gun, um, a film like Kamli, which people say that, oh, it's an art house sort of film and all of that, but people are going to watch it. So this is a really, really good sign. It means that there people do have an appetite for good cinema, and people will go out if you make it. um, Even the other movies, I believe some of them have done well. So again, the this when I say, well, can I compare it to pre-COVID? I can't.
Mhm. Interesting. Yeah,
Right.
true.
Well, I can't do that. But well, compared to, I guess, how the situation is like, if OTT platforms come to Pakistan, I think uh, we will be a game changer for them. I don't know if they'll be a game changer for us. We'll be a game changer for them, because really we have been cooking and cooking and cooking. We're like that Nihari.
I'm
That
vegetarian, but I can understand what a nihari is. So
oh,
it's okay.
sorry.
You can replace it with paneer. It's fine. I'm happy with that.
Okay, I will replace it. Oh man. Okay. Well, forget it.
Biryani, a paneer biryani, like
A
you said.
paneer biryani, okay? Yeah, it's just been on that pot, and it's just been cooking, so it's like, really, you won't believe, but I feel like we've been ready for so long for it to happen. And I think the kind of people we have, all the technicians, the writers, the cinematographers, directors and producers and actors, I think we're ready for it. We've been ready for a while. So if when if that happens, I think that will be just something else for Pakistan, because we'll be able to, it's like how K dramas, I keep hearing from Seher and so many other people.
Yeah, yeah,
Yesterday I was on Netflix and there's a whole section of it, just like there's a section for Indian films. When something is good and when something does well, there's a whole section dedicated to it. And
true, true.
so it's, and I think we've been ready for it for a very long time. So
Yeah.
if we have that, we will have the power to sort of showcase so much more to the world.
Right. And I think it's interesting you say this because I feel like, what do you think is the reason why uh there's not been an OTT platform in Pakistan? Do you think it's perhaps the fear of maybe the content that they want to make not being appreciated by the masses in a sense of it being banned, or do you just think that it's just people perhaps lacking confidence in terms of investing in the OTT platforms? What do you think it is?
I
Or could it
don't
be
know.
both?
I don't know. I wish I knew. I
Right.
wish I knew. I really wish I knew. And I wish, yeah, I wish I knew, really.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I really don't know, because I think, I think it's very important that we have representation in these OTT platforms abroad, because even something like Marvel, Miss Marvel, comes out of a Pakistani American, writing her story
Hmm.
and saying, I want this, I want this, I want us to be represented. So I think that is very important, and I think that the more that will happen, um, the more there will be people over there fighting for us over here and saying,
Hmm.
do you know what I mean? uh,
Yeah, yeah, I get you. We have
yeah.
to really fight. I feel like even for us as well, and I think that's why I'm really proud of, even as an Indian, to see like Deepika, Priyanka doing so damn well abroad, because we need to fight for it, And this has been
Yes, yes.
us as South Asians. It's always been our issue since pre-independence. We've always had to fight for our rights, and it's just really sad that that still continues. Despite us moving on.
Yeah, but you can't expect people sitting over there to know something that is happening here, and
True.
you
Yeah.
you can't. And also think about it. At the end of the day, when we all you see, whatever you see on the news is something that you believe. That's how we all are. That's how we all actually are. So you really can't tell them that. In fact, I'll tell you something about India and Pakistan. So when I went to, the first time, not the first time, sorry, second time I remember, I'd gone to India to promote Humsafar.
Hmm.
This is pre-race,
Okay.
and it was on that trip that actually I auditioned for Race. But um, I remember, people asking me all these questions every time, every place I went. Lucknow, Delhi, Mumbai, they all had these questions. But don't women act like this? Aren't men like this? Isn't it like that? And I realized that the news that is shown, in India, is a certain kind of news. So
Hmm.
what does art do? And that's the beauty of art. When Zindagi started airing our dramas, everyone was like, wait a second, what? It is that. Believe me, I have firsthand experienced it. And I was like, yes, this is what it is. And so that is the beauty of art. And that is also the beauty of exchanging art,
Beautiful. Yeah, I
right?
agree.
Because what you're actually doing is you're saying, here is a window, you can peek inside it, and you'll be in our homes, and you'll see that we're not very different from you. So
Yeah.
it's really,
It's
I think
very
that,
true. In fact, I have a lot of Indian friends as well, and they watch a lot of your shows, and
yeah,
they tell me they fan over it so much. And I think one thing I must say is Pakistan TV shows are the best. They're
yeah,
absolutely wonderful, I must say.
yeah,
In fact, I think Indian television also had this phase where it was very sensitive and very mature, but then obviously certain trends do well, and then obviously that's what the demand
you start
becomes.
replicating it, and yeah,
Yeah, we know how the film sort of
yeah.
business works. But I think, Myra, I actually wanted to congratulate you also on becoming a British Asian Trust's ambassador to
Oh,
champion mental health awareness. It's such a huge feat, and I was delighted when I read the news. In fact, um, so how is that going for you? And obviously, I know you've. In fact, when we did a podcast, I remember. I think you were in and out somewhere. It was just before the COVID had hit, and you were also telling me about your sort of challenges with mental health and how you've also gone through a very healing process. So, what has been the key takeaways from your healing process that you've gone through as well?
So, I feel like I'm still on this sort of path of healing, as they call it. It's a sort of lonely place where you are healing, but you need all the support. And I think we're very lucky, people like me at least. I'm very lucky that if you can have friends and family, especially, who can support you, if you're in a position of privilege where you can reach out for help, and you can, you have the means to pay for things like therapy or doctor sessions and stuff like that. I am a big advocate of mental health. I feel like we really, and we have been. I'm really happy that we have been. I'm happy that I, unlike maybe some people that are very close to me who were born in another generation, you know, in the people that I've known who've suffered through it, were born at a time where they were not as aware as I am. They, it was a taboo. Today we can still talk about it. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
of course I know people till today also who will say, okay, this is all rubbish. Just you need to be strong. You need to just look at the positive side, look at the bright side. And so I think this is not about looking at the bright side. It's not about looking at things positively. I always say this. It's like, um, you know, Allah na kare, not having legs or being disabled, and me asking you to run. You can't do that. And that's not because you don't want to. It's because you cannot. Just like that, it's an illness, and it should be treated as such.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And it's quite interesting in a way as well, Mahira. Now, actually thinking back, a lot of the roles that you have done, in a way, do address mental health in a certain way, even though there have been very serious, intense, heavy-handed films. I mean, two of them were by Shoaib Mansoor, so no surprises there. But, again, there was also that sort of mental health trope that's been in your films as well, right? So I guess you seem to have always been passionate about this, which is perhaps why British Asian Trust have reached out to you.
Yes, and I'm so glad that they have, and I'm so glad. I feel I need to start my actual work with them, and I cannot wait to do that. Actually, I can't wait to do that. I do feel that we have, at least I haven't properly really gone into a subject which deals with mental health. I want to do that. I don't know if you ever watched this short film that Shahryar Munawar, who's also an actor, he had
Yes,
directed,
I
Prince
heard.
Charming.
Mm-hmm.
You must watch it. So that was it was a very short film. It was 10 minutes or so, but it sort of was about a woman who was suffering through depression. And I I would love to actually make something about that. As a producer, that's the subject, one of the subjects that I would really want to talk about, elaborate on, so that, because again, like I said, art has such a way of making sense, also informing. So I would love to actually make something on that.
Well, I cannot wait to hear more about that. I think whenever the opportunity comes about, I think I'm going to definitely be bombarding Said when that happens, as soon as that opportunity comes about. But look, Myra, every time I've done an interview with you, I've always left the interview feeling inspired, moved. I felt like I've had this very beautiful discussion with a friend who somehow just understands you. And I think, again, this is the sort of emotion that I'm facing after speaking with you. And I
That's so
think
sweet. Uh, that's it's really 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 something when you're people who have been following you for all these years, and sort of go through your interviews, and and I get really surprised because I feel like I'm a really good that I can sort of hide everything possible with the way I speak and a smile on my face. But I think it's interesting that people who follow you and look at you very closely actually they know exactly what's happening, you know, and it's a really interesting thing. Also, they, because they follow you and they, you know, they've gone through everything you've ever done, they're just such champions of you. So that's a very big thing in my life as well. uh, you know, my fans and the people who follow me, I really, they're my greatest support, um, in that way. So yeah, I'm not sure who you're talking about, which friend, but yeah, I think just if I can make people feel good and happy and sometimes sad, or they can think that, you know what, she is like us, I think that's cool, and I want to be that for
No,
them.
definitely. Absolutely. No, I mean, that first experience when I had interviewed you, it was for Bin Roy's premiere, which was the first
Oh, what a good
time.
time, what a good time.
I mean, that was so funny. And at that point, you were just rumored to star in Race, and you were like, "Oh, I cannot say anything." It was honestly one of the most ditziest interviews I've ever done in my life.
Oh
I
no.
had no idea what I was doing, but to see this
Right.
journey, I think, Myra, to see you grow, and now with a film like uh, Quaid-e-Azam Zindabad, I think it's going to be wonderful, and I'm sure it's going to definitely open up the cinemas once again. And I'm sure we're going to see you do some great work as well, especially whether it's as a producer, whether it's you as an ambassador, as an actor. So thank you
Thank
so
you.
much, Myra, for joining
Not
me
at
on
all.
Filme Shilmy. It's been such a
Not
pleasure.
at all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Anuj.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Hope to
Thank you.
see you. Hope to see you in England soon.
Yes, please make a trip soon. It's been ages since I've seen
Ages.
you, so please
I
do.
know.
Love.
Definitely. Definitely. Take care of yourself.
You too, dear.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Bye,
Bye.
Myra.
Bye.
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 Oye, lugar, lugar,